This is episode 169, how to stay in a optimum fat percentage. Welcome everybody to another episode here in Mind Transformation by Custom Body Fitness. This is your health coach, Sandro Torres. And I've been thinking that I started exercising 25 years ago, and I managed to be an 11% body fat all these years. And the reason why I was thinking about that is that I was cleaning my phone, and I went back to see some of the old pictures, and I was looking at one picture. It's an x-ray of my knee surgery that it was done 7 years ago. And then a picture of me being very buff a year after that knee surgery. And that put me into perspective that, and I mean, very buff, but lean. You can see every single muscle of my body. And I don't say that in an arrogant way. I say it because it made me think that when I go back and look at all my pictures, I'm always ripped. And the reason is because I managed to stay in 11% body fat. And then I thought about my wife. And my wife been in an 18% body fat almost for 3 years in a row because, of course, she got pregnant with our daughter. And therefore, her body fat changed because of that reason. But she started in a very high fat percentage. And she managed to be at 18 body fat percent. So it is possible to be in that fat percentage and maintain and maintenance that percentage for the rest of your life if you want to. And that's what I'm going to talk about here. Give you the key what you need to do to be in that optimum fat percentage and stay there. So without further introduction, let's listen to the talk. At CBF, we know that for you to change your body, you need to change your mind. Exercise and eating healthy is only part of the plan. We care about our members as we care about our family, because our members become our family. It is not about competition, but support. It is not about being the strongest or the fastest, but about you defeating your negative self. It is about working together and making the task challenging and have fun. By the end, what matters is not how hard the session was, but that you take control of your mind so you can take control of your body. My name is Sandro Torres, and I'm happy you are part of our family. Welcome to Custom Body Fitness. Welcome everybody to another talk here with your health coach, Sandro Torres. Today, I am going to give you some tips about how to stay for men 11% body fat and for women 18% body fat. I think that percentage is something very sustainable. The 18 for women and the 11% for men. Why 18 for women, 11% for men? Because women need more fat for estrogen and other hormones, menstruations, and so on. They require more fat to produce those. And therefore, women should not go below that. You can go if you are performing such a bodybuilding or something like that. But after that, it's not healthy to go. Probably to the 15% is good, but then below that, it's not good for you. You need that fat percentage. And for men, same thing. 11% is very sustainable, and that's something that it's a healthy range. You can go lower, 8%, for example. 6%, you are getting into the unhealthy, unless you're performing. As an example, then you're doing bodybuilding performance and things like that, then 6% is something that you want to be for that, but it's not something sustainable. I started to exercise 25 years ago, and the reason why I started exercising weightlifting is because I wanted to attract the opposite sex. As my journey continued, my motivation changed, and now I do it for health, I do it for mental health as well. I do it for longevity, and those are the reasons why I do it. Of course, I want to continue looking good. I'm not saying it's not one of the reasons, but my motivation has completely changed. When I started, I remember that I was very skinny. I weigh like 130 pounds, so my fat percentage was very low. So I had an advantage that my fat percentage was low, but it took me 3 years to get to my goal because adding muscle is very difficult. Since I remember that I was measured, I believe 2 years, 2 years and a half after my journey started, my measurements fall into the category of 11% body fat. And I've been maintaining that since then. Remember, I started exercising 25 years ago. So I'm very consistent with those measurements being 11%, sometimes a little lower, sometimes a little higher. It's very consistent. Those measurements are very consistent. My wife started, Gisela started almost to 40% body fat. She managed to go down to 23% body fat before she got pregnant. Then, after she got pregnant and delivered, she started exercising after a month that she delivered. And then she managed in 7 months to get down to 18%. Now our daughter is 3 years of age, and since then she is very consistent with that percentage, a little lower than 18%, a little higher than 18% every time I measure her. And how do we do that? How do we manage to do that? And that's what I'm going to tell you here, because I want you to put this into practice. First of all, we do a couple things in common and things that are not. For example, let's talk about eating. I drink my smoothie around 7, 8 in the morning after my exercise. Then I eat around 11, 12 p.m. Then I take a snack around 3, and then my dinner is around 8 p.m. Gisela, she doesn't, her first meal, it's 11 in the morning. Then she eats a snack around 3, and then she eats dinner around 8 p.m. Exercising, I follow the same routine every week. Every week I follow the same routine. I exercise 5 times a week following the same routine, and I've been doing that for years. Every week I follow the same weightlifting routine. Gisela, for example, she exercises 4 times a week, and she changes her routine every week, every week. Cardios, I go for a hike 3 times a week, and she goes for a run 4 times a week. So we have a couple differences. For example, she eats a different she eats in a different schedule. She exercises different routine every week while I follow the same routine every week. She goes for a run 4 times a week, and I go for a hike 3 times a week. So we change that as well. But there is a couple similarities that you should keep in mind. Even though we have a different schedule, we eat healthy. We both eat very healthy. We eat veggies, we eat organic, we don't eat any junk food, we don't drink any sodas, things like that. We only drink water. When it's about weightlifting, we both push to the limits when it's about weightlifting. And whenever our body allows it, we increase our weights. So we do work all our whole body by working all the big muscle groups. She works her whole body in one day. I divide my muscle groups between the days. But we both are intense and we both increase our weights. Those are similarities. Cardios. We are consistent with our cardio. She goes for a run 4 times a week for at least 30 minutes to an hour. I go for a hike 3 times a week, at least for an hour. Now, what is most important, and this is what you should apply, and this is how you stay in that percentage, is you need to be consistent and you need to be disciplined, and should be a priority. No matter what, we put that as a priority, and we help each other with our daughter to be able to exercise. So nothing gets in the middle of our exercise. So be consistent with everything. Be consistent with your exercise, be consistent with your diet, be consistent with your cardio. An emergency only happens when it's an emergency. No excuses. We don't set up excuses. We've been doing this for years and we continue doing this for years. Even when we go for a vacation, we continue exercising. Unless we take a vacation from our exercise, which is 1 week a year. Other than that, we continue doing this. So if you want to maintain that fat percentage low, follow that. The most important about this is being disciplined and being consistent. Keep that in mind. That's the key for you to be in that body fat. So that's it for today. If you want specifics about what you should be eating, how to exercise, and the cardios, there is a lot of content that I have in our website that you can read, watch, or even listen to it, because I give explanation about the exercises, how to exercise, how to divide your body parts, which one is more suitable for you, what type of weightlifting program. I have many, like I said, videos, podcast episodes, and also articles when you can go check the specifics about that. But for this talk, what I want to emphasize with you is that you need to be disciplined and you need to be consistent every day with your habits. You need to follow those habits every day. Once you stop following those habits, you're going to regain that fat that you lost. If you want to be, for men, 11% and for women 80% body fat, remember to be consistent with your habits. Hopefully you like it. For now, your health coach says bye. Please share it with people who needs to listen to this message. Please comment and like, and thank you so much. So very simple. All you have to do is get a routine, be disciplined, be consistent with it, follow all those good habits that's gonna keep you in shape, and that optimum fat percentage by practicing those habits every day, every week, every month, and every year. And that's how you do it. I hope you like this talk. Please share with somebody who needs to listen to this talk. And remember to stay close to God, mentally and physically healthy. And for now, your health coach, Sandro Torres, says bye.